Hi, I just got out of a session with a new person and they asked me if I worked with astrology. And my answer to that is that I love for years now to work with all typology. And that includes your Myers-Briggs, that includes your Enneagram, that includes your love language, that includes how you identify. I like to work with the typology that you have. Let me tell you why. Number one, I think typology is really helpful in managing relationships. So I even recommend if you're starting a new relationship with someone, find out all of that. Study it together. Because if in Myers-Briggs you're a P, someone who doesn't like deadlines at all and gets anxious because of deadlines, and you're paired with a J who loves deadlines, there's going to be some anxiety and tension. But there's always the good news. You're already going to know that about the other person. So you know how to work with it, which is why this is so powerful in corporate environments. If you know that someone's an introvert, you know that at a meeting they might be very quiet, but 2 days later, they're going to come up with some genius idea. While the extrovert has to verbally process, and that's where they find their genius. So it's very helpful to know what other people are. If you're a number 2 on the Enneagram, that means that you could be codependent, but you also could be like the amazing helper on the team, right? So knowing this, knowing your astrology, knowing if you're a Cancer, you're really emotional, or if you're a Scorpio, or if you're an Aries. If you know the parts of you, it's extremely helpful in relationship. It's extremely helpful to know if someone is an earth sign because they need to feel grounded, they love routine, they like working steadily, they're pretty good at being really stable and safe in relationships, right? And if you're a Sagittarius like me, you're a fire sign. And that means that you like to be curious and philosophical, and there's all sorts of other stuff that comes with it. Okay, this is the point. And you guys, there's levels to all of that. There's your moon sign. There's same thing with the Enneagram, right? What's across from you in the Enneagram? Anyway, the more you study it, the better. But if you're in relationships with your children, with your lover, with your best friend, whomever, if you know their love language, if you know what element they are, it's very powerful. This is the trick though. On all of these things, there is a spectrum. There is a spectrum. And the spectrum is there's very low functioning horoscope signs, low functioning Enneagram numbers, and there's very high functioning. And high functioning usually means that you know yourself, that there is self-knowledge, and that you've learned how to adjust, adapt, and heal. Remember, my whole thing is know yourself, heal the planet, right? And that moves you into higher functioning on all of your typologies, okay? So what's important? It's great for relationships because then you can understand why people do what they do, why they lean a certain way, why they behave a certain way, what they need in love or in their day-to-day life. Number two is it gives you power. It gives you power to self-understand and understand others, and you can study this. This is in your hands. You can have beautiful relationships with anybody in your life if you're both studying yourself on this and getting better and reaching for the higher functioning part of your typology. Number 3, the reason why this is important is straight up. You will become who you hang out with, period. So some people, if they're not functioning well, will pull you down with them. So there's a higher common denominator and there's a lower common denominator, okay? And it's the folks who are growing and healing and knowing themselves that will also pull you up with them. So it allows you to discern and make those decisions. Are the people in my life pulling me down to our lowest common denominator on all of my typology? Does it bring out the worst, most unhealed parts of me? Or does it shoot me straight up? Or does it keep pulling me up, this relationship, right? And usually you know if someone will study your typologies with you. And I certainly will as a psychotherapist, because we'll find you on that spectrum, on all of them. So the more we know, the better. Thank you.